Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. I hope that everybody had a wonderful week, getting ready for a wonderful weekend. I know my week's been insane. I don't know about yours. I'm actually surprised I got out a video for tomorrow, but I'm like, you know what? I missed so many videos. We're not doing a writing done right. I didn't record my Christian videos yet. Usually those are done already. I'm just like, and then I had all sorts of weird stuff going. Oh, my heater stopped working. Fortunately, right now it's too hot to, like, I wish I had an air conditioner. It's so hot right now. But the other night it was 28 out and the heater dies. And of course, nobody ever anywhere locally stocks things to repair heaters and stuff, so I had to order all the parts from Amazon a week and a half before I can get them. Like, oh dear, it's not going to be super cold until they come in. I don't know. But anyway, I hope that that's good. Let's see. Intro sound is louder than the mic. How much louder is it? I wonder if, because I've had a few people complain about, that audio was silent, and it all happened after I updated the system. I'm wondering if Pipewire just doesn't pull in enough volume. I don't really want to mess with the sound settings here, and I can see on OBS, if I go much higher, I'm going to peak. And that's peaking is always bad. So I could, of course, control myself and not rant and rave like a crazy lunatic. I could always do that. But what fun would the show be if I didn't rant and rave like a lunatic? I don't know. Anyway, just a reminder, we will have this week and next week, I believe, will be our last time of doing the Weekly News Roundup on Fridays. As of May 1st, on Thursday, we're going to move the Weekly News Roundup to Thursday. And we'll change the format around a little bit and hopefully have a little bit of a different show. And we will not be cutting out and doing the the pull-out videos unless I really get a lot of feedback that says I should still do it. It's a lot of extra time to do the call-out videos, and honestly, I wouldn't get a lot done otherwise because this is the last thing I do on Friday night before, like, relaxing for the week. But who knows? Maybe a little bit more relaxing time might be in order. I don't know. But what we are doing is we are time stamping these live videos. So last week was the first live video that got the timestamps on it, which we're still doing the edited videos this week and next week. And then starting May 1st, we will not release the shorter edited video with the information out. But what we're going to do is we are going to get right into the content of the show on the front end and do comment breaks in the middle and near the end. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing, and I have a few other ideas that I will unveil more of that later. But we will have good timestamps, and they will go up as soon as I can get them up. The problem is I can't edit out, so we're starting the video. We're going to be editing the video and starting it right at the logo, and so that's where the timestamps all start, but I can't edit down the live version until the full HD version is processed. And last week that took until Saturday morning. So I will get the timestamps that night, but I can't put them in until we get the video edited down, which I have to wait a period for YouTube to finish its processing. Now that's YouTube. If you're watching on the other channels, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the comment breaks with those. We might have a way to figure it out. Maybe we standardize the entire show. Once I push that live button, boom, we're going. I just don't know exactly how we're doing that yet. But the timestamps are going to be in the videos, and we will be getting right into the content rather than 10-15 minutes of commenting back and forth. I think that might be something that some people might like, especially if we're not doing the edited down videos. So that's kind of what we're going to do. It'll be kind of fun. So that's in 2 weeks. May 1st, we'll start doing the show. And of course, just a reminder, in July, I'm going to take most of July off. So we may not run, at least we won't run the news live. Or I could look at possibly doing a live show like Saturday night maybe. That's going to be a huge maybe because of what I'm doing that month. And then there is a time in June I may not get to the show either because I'm teaching at a conference, and I think the conference does go on over a weekend. So I'll let you guys know when I have all that stuff figured out. So that is what we have going on. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. Let's have a look. And I got, what do I have today? Cinnamon stick tea is what I got today. We are monitoring the comments over on Matrix as well. If you're not on our Matrix channel, you can search us up, Switch to Linux over there on Matrix, and you can jump in over there, and we have one specific room specifically for live chat for the active stream. I don't monitor the other rooms during that time, just the active one. But of course, the Anchorage, who also is doing the time stamps, will be monitoring the other rooms as well in case there's anything there. He also holds the Banhammer of Thor, so be careful. Electronic Albatross, greetings. Emotional damage. That's right. Be careful of those LG TVs, right? Night of Light, hello. No one, greetings. Commodore fan, how's it going there? Be watching tonight, but I'm fighting the worst sinus allergies. Oh, man. Take some time off, my friend. Take some time off. Hang out, kick back, and enjoy the show. Hello, KO2610. Hello. Did you say hello? No, I said hello, but that's close enough. All right. Natasha, how's it going there? Silver Adventures, hello to you. Made the whipped cream. It was good. Found out Malibu doesn't come through much, though. I was able to add much mixture as I had only a 50 milliliter bottle. Oh, okay. The whipped cream. I guess you're talking about something specific that you guys were probably talking about in the comments last week. I don't know. Nowadays, TV is just lost time, pretty much. And they're causing you to lose more time. Isn't that wonderful, too, how it's like they want to throttle our internet so we don't use too much. And, of course, if you measure it all out with all the video ads they throw at us, like a quarter of our data cap is potentially taken up with ads that we didn't ask for. And, to some of our points, we just don't have the money to buy the crap anyway. What are you guys doing? Anyway, let's see. About 1.5 cup batch of whipped cream, 3 tablespoons of vanilla, and 3 tablespoons of Malibu rum. Okay, interesting. For my Raspberry Pi in a media center, I can choose whatever I want to see. Awesome. Join in the fun. The Lizard of Linux Lane. Still don't have a smart TV. That's right, I don't either. No interest in getting one. Hello, world, says Mr. Snipes. Nelson Mitchell, hello to you. Think more of silly TV. There you go. Dumb TV. How's that? I have a smart TV that I use 2 things, computer monitor and Alexa for controlling smart lights. I forgot to look into it, but I think, I'm not going to mention the news because I'm not sure about this, but I think the WebOS that LG is moving to, that they're cramming this dystopian crap into, I think it also has the capability to show overlay ads even if you're just using the HDMI port. So if you're just watching like an archaic DVD on one of those old things called a DVD player, the TV, some TVs do this. I can't remember if it's the WebOS or not, so I'm not going to mention it. But I think that one has the capability of showing you overlay ads on top of your HDMI input. Isn't that great? You're at a conference meeting and the big televisions on the wall start advertising. And then, of course, it has these profiles of people watching. We'll get into this. So it detects that there's like a gross pervert. And we know that gross perverts are easiest to market to. So you're there in a business conference call. It detects you got a gross pervert in the room. Nobody knows who it is, but you're getting ads for Viagra on your TV. Oh, God. Twang! All right. Shawing! All right. Slightly amusing, the new time start on the loyalty day. Time to see how many stay around with the time change. Yeah. Oh, is there a loyalty day? I don't know. Harry Druid, greetings to you. I'm taking too far long to explain nothing. I'm going. Sorry. This is called the comments, Harry. Come on back. Let's see. No, Natasha, Thursday's fine as long as it's 8 p.m. Yes, it will remain at 8 p.m. All right. Let's leave it in. Put in the timestamp so people can skip. Is there a timestamp where this ends? Yeah, so I put one in for the intro comments. So then once on Saturday morning, you could come in and just click the first timestamp to go right to the first article. And then, of course, we also had to conclude it with a timestamp for feeding the beasts. So that is specifically timestamped into the videos. Made a chili garlic sauce, required an absurd amount of garlic and 2 heads of garlic. Ooh, I made chili myself today, and it was amazing. Fresh Vintage is up. Greetings, Fresh Vintage. How's it going? Can you convince Dr. Pepper to ship the vanilla float flavor to more states? I'm not sure if they still exist, but there's a company called Prairie Moons that you could order homemade soda syrups. And they had like 70, 80 flavors, and they were amazing. I ordered from them all the time when I used to be fat and drank soda. But that's where I'd order all my stuff. I'd get the concentrates, and then I'd make the soda syrups. And, of course, I have my own carbonator. So that's good. Let's see. Kept giving me an error. Something's missing. Let's see. I should make Fresh Vintage a band hammer. Oh, I did. Fresh Vintage is a band hammer. Careful, guys. Fresh Vintage is a band hammer, too. Oh, boy. He'll pound you out of here like you're knocking an old rusty wheel off a car. Alrighty, there's our comments on YouTube. We got 39 watching. We got 13 watching over on Odyssey. Anchorage on Bibbly Bop. How's it going there? Greetings, Bibbly Bop. Not familiar with the Matrix. Does it require an online account as well? Yes, it uses the like a Matrix account, but they are federated, so you can choose where your account is from. So there you go. It's username password. I don't remember how KYC it is. Yeah, it's not particularly KYC. I think it's just email and password. Dan Kelly's over there. We have 13 watching over on Rumble. How's it going there, Dan? Okay, greetings to you as well. And Ravenwing, good evening to you. All right, let me do one quick check over there on Matrix. I think we should be good, but I'm going to double check it anyway. Let's see. We got Ivan's over there. We got Lazy Fairs over there. And we got Cheesy Cakes over there. My TV is emotionally targeting you. Yes, it is. And let's go ahead and get on into that now. So there's that. There's that. Oh, crap. I forgot my titles again. All right, hold on. Let me go back to the comments again. I apologize, folks. I completely forgot my titles again. Oh dear. I need better reminders to add my titles back in, because this is crazy. I forgot last week too, didn't I? All right, bear with me. Sorry about that. Everyone, call me a moron. All right. Nope, wrong button. I gotta go this file. There you go. That's the file I needed. Then, of course, OBS is going to screw up and not let me display half my titles. All right. Let's go there. Weekly News Roundup and title for privacy. And let's see. We got our security. And we got AI. I don't know, Ivan, should we add a time slot for Tom's an Idiot? All right. Let's see. See, good thing I don't have a bad self-esteem. I might edit this type of stuff out of the lives. I'm gonna try not to do this in future. I should like put together a full like checklist and force myself to check off of it. That might be a beneficial thing to do. All right, and silly. All right, now let me just verify all our titles work. Good deal. Discard that. Close that. That works. That works. That works. That works. Hey, everything works. Awesome. Let's do that again. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, only for the next 2 weeks. We will be moving this show to Thursday at 8 p.m. We hope that will allow more people to jump in. There's a lot of really great shows going on Fridays, and so we're going to keep the time the same. It's just at Thursdays instead of Fridays. So we're going to see how that works, and if it merits a change back, we'll do that, and then maybe we'll use the Friday or Saturday as auxiliary days if we have to push it later or something like that. We also will not be doing these edited down versions, but the versions that go live as of Friday morning will have timestamps on them, so you can go right in, and we'll also be going right to the content to start. Well, intro matter, then content, but we're not going to read the comments at the start anymore. We're going to read comments in the middle and at the end. So you can go ahead and catch that show as of May 1st on Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we do have a normal business news segment. We have privacy, security, AI, business, and, of course, SillyVille. And let's go ahead and get right on in with the crazy nonsense. And the first thing we have in privacy, Apple has a plan for improving Apple Intelligence, but it needs your data. Yeah, I mean, Apple is it's built this model on privacy, but it still kind of wants your data sometimes. Now, there are good implementations to this. So what Apple has been doing, and probably why Apple Intelligence is pretty much the shall we say, moronic stepchild of the AI family, is because they've actually been to honor privacy. Honestly, this is actually a good point for Apple. To honor privacy, they've been training their AI on fictional data, which they are alleging should work well, but it also is what led to maybe a lot of the nonsense. In reality, maybe the AI was a little bit less cynical because, as I've said in many other places, AI is trained on publicly available data, but human beings are drawn to bad news, and that's why bad news is all over everything. I mean, they tell us when the stock market dives 10,000 points. I didn't see any news articles about the stock market recovered almost everything it lost a couple weeks ago. Not everything. I guess it's got to be at least halfway up, but that's the thing. We don't cover bad news or good news. We just cover bad news. But what they're doing now is, this is the other thing Apple's doing good. It is all opt-in. And if you have gone down to the bottom and you have opted out of data analytics, you are immediately excluded. And so they have actually done this in the best way they possibly could. But for those that really love the AI and don't mind their data being trained on it because you have nothing to hide, of course, even that jog past the bank on Friday mornings, then what you can actually do is you can opt in, and then it's still sending, the way it's anonymizing data is it's mixing in the data profiles with a lot of white noise. So at any time, at least half of the data coming in is still going to be made up, fabricated, or static data, which makes it very hard to de-anonymize the data. Now, is it still possible? Yes. That is the warning of it, but being opt-in, this is actually a good thing. So I have to praise Apple here for the way they are doing this data collection. My guess is, though, is not enough people are going to opt into it, and they will probably change their tune, but we'll see what happens. For now, Apple is asking for your help and your data to train its AI, but it's asking and saying, please opt into our service, which is way better than most people get into. Now we move over to Florida Man. Florida Man's a moron. The Florida politicians over there are now drafting a law to mandate encryption backdoors for social media accounts. This is what UK is trying to do that caused Apple to pull out. This is what the FBI has to wiretap people that allowed China to hang out in there and get into every one of the telecoms. That was the recent telecom breach not long ago. Anytime there's backdoors into encrypted software, the criminals get into there a whole lot more, and then you have to worry about the rogue police officers too, because, there are a lot of police officers that aren't doing their job well. How many police officers in this country have been arrested for utilizing police resources to stalk their ex-girlfriends? More than you can count. And that's the type of stuff we have to worry about. Of course, this is all built to save the children, like requiring your PH websites and other related content to do age verification. Of course, two things. Number one, a VPN is a thing. Number two if you block the kids from accessing pH as easily, you will possibly send them into the darker, more extreme places of the internet because their heart is going there. It's a very bad thing, but their heart is going there. You're not going to stop it with a law. The same way that, as Florida has recently learned, when you have that little sign up there that says this is a gun-free zone, it doesn't actually enforce much, does it? So we have to think about these things, that a simple law is not going to stop the sin of the human heart. And that's the problem with this bill. It basically says, this is SB 868, and the bill, if passed, would require social media platforms to provide a mechanism to decrypt end-to-end encryption when law enforcement obtains a subpoena. All right, so obviously, number one, save and protect the children. You know, this is what's behind the age verification. So you see, kids shouldn't be on social media. Should we do an age verification? No. Why? Because everybody creating a social media account, verify your age, show us your ID. Now you just have a way to force everybody to show your IDs. And of course, in this crazy world where criminals would love nothing more to get your ID so that they can use your ID for the know your customer laws when they're creating their fraudulent accounts. And then they can sleep easy knowing that if they make a mistake somewhere and the trail goes back to Randall Stevenson, they kick in your door, not theirs, because they're operating on a stolen ID. And then, of course, you can't possibly get around the fact that you will now have thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to try and prove yourself innocent because a criminal stole your data because some social media company didn't know how to do security, didn't want to pay for it, and so they hired some third-party janky company who was shifting some of those out on the side and selling them on the side because they were being paid peanuts anyway. That's the problem with that law. Now, this law, of course, the end-to-end, the backdoor into the end-to-end encryption allows anybody to snoop in there. The hackers are going to get in that back door. Police officers are going to get in that back door. Now, there is another thing, is it would require a parent to be able to see what's in the child's account. Well, we were talking about this in the supporters hangout off air last night, and one of the people in there said that, Facebook has a general pretty good idea if you're overage or underage. Okay, and so they kind of know who's a child already. We don't need to do the age verifications, but at the same time, okay, the bill here requiring this backdoor encryption, it's allowing a backdoor into everything online. YouTube is encrypted. You can leave comments. Therefore, the police need the back door. You know, Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram and Signal, everything. This is the most brain dead bill ever. And I'm sorry, Florida, you do some really good things, but this is the problem with the entire Republican Party. You guys are retardedly brain dead when it comes to technology. Would you get your heads out of your rear ends and look around the world a little bit? I mean, come on, folks. Jeez. So this is a really stupid thing. Of course, it comes out of Florida because, yeah, Florida man, he's been battling too many gators on LSD, apparently. Don't feed hallucinogens to the alligators if you guys have not seen that meme. All right. And on to our chief story. LG TVs. I am never buying an LG TV. Should we have a campaign, never buy LG TVs here on out? LG TVs are working on an integrated ad system that will personalize you with emotions. Ooh, this is the new LG's Web OS. They are partnering in with a new company called Zenapps. And now they have a typo here. They say here in Ars Technica, this is software as a service. This is not true. Zenapps bills itself as a science as a service. So it's still SaaS, but it's science as a service. And what they're trying to do is they work on emotional powered, and like they say emotional intelligence, which is a different thing from feeding on your emotions. They're kind of using the word emotional intelligence, but they're meaning feeding on your emotions. How does this work? Well, this is an article from last year from Adweek, and they raised $8 million to expand an AI large emotional model, LEM, as a SaaS platform here. And so when they're looking at what they're doing down here, I want to see if they can find. See, they're not defining SaaS here, but I went through all of their news releases. There are only like 8 of them, and they're very clearly saying on their website it's science as a service model. And so they're a first mover in the SaaS category. We expect to become a major part of the marketing technology using AI to empower marketing with emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence has a different definition. There's an excellent book on the subject called Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I'd recommend you read it. It's a very good book. And it basically talks about the emotional cues, how strong is somebody emotionally. And that really is, as Daniel Goleman argues in his book, that really is the biggest marker of success, because intelligence, we can be idiot savants and be brilliantly intelligent, but the people who can emotionally read the room and emotionally move through can strategically work inside the various elements. He argues in the book that the reason a kid is the reason a kid is struggling, he's not stupid because he doesn't know 2 + 2 is 5. He just doesn't care because his life is falling apart and his emotional IQ is completely severed over the fact that his life is falling apart. But if you solve a lot of the problems around him, if he knows he has a safe bed and he has resources, he's going to eat 3 meals every day, then you place him in a better place where he's more comfortable. Deals a lot with Maslow's laws of self-actualization is what it had to do with. Now that's emotional intelligence, which is not what this company is doing. What this company is doing is they're using emotions to drive responses. In other words, the higher your emotional intelligence, the less impact this is going to have on you. But look around at our world. We are not an emotionally intelligent world. We are pretty much a bunch of emotional babies running around. It's very evidenced. But what they say down here is they interpret insights from 150 million consumers across 3.5 billion data points in real time. So their first product, Zen Impact Optimization Studio, leverages Zen Vision to deliver more effective marketing across channels in an easy-to-use platform, delivering a lift of 40 to 400% over standard behavioral and demographic-powered experiences. So where most advertising targets demographics, they're saying if we can understand who you are on a psychological basis, we can target you. We can target your psychic, not your demographics. So we're not targeting you because you are black or white or Christian or Muslim. We are targeting you instead based on the interests and the desires that you have within yourself. Well, warning from James chapter 1, sin is caused by the desires of your heart. Okay, they are literally doing this to breed discontent inside of you as a means to drive marketing. They're not finding your interests, they're finding what emotionally drives you, what is your emotional psyche happens to be. And so what they're doing here in this system is now Zen Apps is working with LG televisions to embed this advertising technique, and then the LG sensors and things will figure out who is watching that. It could be the apps on your phone. Actually, I meant to mention that with that news article there. Where are they getting the 150 million consumers and 3.5 billion data points in real time? That is all coming from phone apps. All of those free phone apps. Get the free phone apps. The free phone apps will save you money. I was coming down through Flagstaff, Arizona a couple months ago, and I pull into the gas station, low in gas, getting there to fill up that giant Ram ProMaster gas guzzler up there, and this guy runs in kind of excited. Oh, don't put your card in yet. You can scan this app. Look at this app. This is so awesome. Get this. You can save 10 cents. I'm like, dude, the cost is high. What do you mean it's free? And I explained to him the Gas Buddy and the, I forget the company's name off of that Allstate had founded, the marketing company that Allstate had founded. All of these Life 360, that application that is, a family thing that you can monitor your children. All of those free, amazing apps. All of those apps are collecting tons of data points. They're listening to your microphone. See, it wasn't Facebook listening to your microphone all the time. It was the advertising networks that Facebook was embedded into their app. Those are listening, and those are what's responding to Facebook's ad calls, and that's why the things you talk about show up. It's not Facebook that is listening in. It's the advertisement companies which are embedded into your cell phones. So anytime you're installing these free phone apps, the free is because you are being caught up inside of these guys. Now, the LG televisions, they have cameras and microphones and other cues that they can determine the people listening in the room, and they will display ads through this system on the emotional level of those watching the television. This is downright evil and creepy, folks. This is nutsoids. Like, this should be... So, did you consent to be part of a psychological experiment? I know I didn't. Why are all of these guys not in jail for doing psychological experiments on the people simply watching television? I would really like it if some politicians up there might start inquiring about that. I mean, of course, the current administration, it might not turn into anything. They're like, hey, they're making money. Awesome. You know, like, hey, there's some money that shouldn't be made, folks. Anyway, with all this information, ZenVision will group LG TV viewers into highly specified market segments: goal-driven achievers, social connectors, emotionally engaged planners. The LG spokesperson told Stream Inside TV. The ZenVision also has other ones for digital adopters, wellness seekers, positive impact environment, and money matters. Company is paying to advertise on LG TVs, can then target viewers based on ZenVision specific emotionally intelligent ads instead of your demographic ads. So, and then the rest of the article, they get into a little bit about the differences between the emotional psyche ads versus the demographic type ads. This stuff is insane, folks. This is crazy. This stuff should be completely banned. This whole company, like whoever is in charge of this, whoever gave that company money, round them all up and throw them in a jail somewhere. Send them to El Salvador or something. I don't know, you know. I might rather have the MS-13 gang members roaming the streets, to be honest. I don't know. All right. We're having too much fun. We must get along before I get too insane. Let's switch on over to security news next. All right, we have an update to the old Hello Pervert email. Leave us a like in the video if you've ever gotten the Hello Pervert email. Remember this one? It's like, hello pervert, I hacked into your computer and I saw what you did on your computer. Now, of course, the reason this works is because the estimates are up to, 40 to 60% of people are engaging in they're engaging in sausage massage, okay? And so they're just basically sending these out to every emails that they can possibly find, and hoping that people are dumb enough to enter in their Bitcoin and be like, oh, I got to give money so this guy doesn't tell all my family that I'm the sausages are interesting. All right, so this is an update to the Hello Pervert email. They have a brand new one, so you might see this one going around. Now they are spoofing your own email address. So now they have adjusted their thing to say, as you may notice, I sent you an email from your email account. This means I have full access to your account. I've been watching you for a few months. The thing is, you got infected with NJ Rat through an adult site you visited. Oh boy. Did you verify your ID on that adult site? The Florida guys would like to know. They have your identity too, see, because Florida required it. Anyway, now they're asking for $1,200 in US in Bitcoin. I did check the wallet last night, haven't checked it today, but this particular Bitcoin wallet last night, very sad. There's no money in it. The scammers did not get anything, but anyway, he's giving you 48 hours to pay, and so just an update on that one, guys. If you ever get that Hello Pervert email, no, they have not actually hacked into your system, but stop watching that bad stuff that makes you think. You see, if you're not a person who's ever watched that bad stuff on the internet, you know it's fake. But if you're part of the 60% or so who have, now you have to wonder, which site did I go to that I possibly got hacked on? You see, stop going to the sites, then you'll know for a fact when you get this, it's not true. So there you go, folks. And, I have to do cookie settings on this one. I forget. We're going to confirm my choices. Info Security Magazine. This is a interesting one. So AI hallucinations have created an entire new way of supply chain vulnerabilities. They are calling it Slopsquatting. Okay, slop squatting, folks. This is a great one. All right, so in slop squatting, the AI creates a hallucination. And then this is when you're using AI to do code. The AI hallucination will create a code that goes in, and it's going to basically reference a library that doesn't exist. So it will call some supply chain application, some Python script that doesn't actually exist. But then the malware will get in there, and basically the AI system looks for it, and then there's some record that's looking for it. So the malicious actor can go in and build a particular library of that exact type. And so it's now present. So next time somebody calls for something similar, it goes back based on all of the past history that AI does feeding on itself. And it too will reference the same code, the same library, which now exists because the scammer set it up. And now they can poison the supply chain through slop squatting. So it's like typo squatting, but they're creating AI slop. The malicious actor comes in behind it, sets up some slop in place of that particular called reference that wasn't there, and now there's malware for the next time the AI does the exact same thing, which reference says it will do, and now we'll get the now the malware is going to be distributed. So excellent, brilliant way there. Wonderful application of utilizing AI hallucinations to poison the supply chain a little bit more. That's quite exciting. And with that, we're going to move on over to AI news next. And first up in AI news, we're like checking all the boxes. If this is your first time here, you're thinking I'm some like left-wing person. Meanwhile, the guys on the left are always criticizing me for being a right-wing person. I'm actually fairly in the center, leaning towards the right. So when I see stuff like this, now I have to call out Elon Musk. You see, I've been beaten on the right wing tonight. That's good. They needed a couple. Every now and again, they need it from people who are generally in agreement with them. Okay, Grok, stop. Grok is going to start remembering everything you do. Remember, like Microsoft did this, and ChatGPT is doing this. I can't remember if we covered a Facebook article doing it. I can't remember if Llama was doing it. Probably is. But now Grok is going to start remembering everything that you ask it to do. So all of these systems, Grok is just the latest of these nonsense, where every conversation you have, it remembers who you are. And so the idea is the more you interact with Grok, the more it knows you on a personal level. And don't worry, the evil Elon has access to all that now. See, he's building his psych profiles to sell all this information over to the company with selling ads to the LGTVs. That's all a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. I need like a conspiracy wall behind me, don't I? Anyway, but yeah, Grok is going to start remembering your conversations as part of a broader slate of updates rolling out, which seeks to match ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and of course we talked about Microsoft's Copilot as well last week, I think. Elon Musk company tends to pitch Grok as a plucky upstart in a world of staid AI tools. Seems to be aiming for parity on features like memory, voice, and image editing. Now, the reality is all of them are doing all the same stuff. So it's like, don't read too much more into it than they're all trying to be the exact same thing. You know, one guy creates one thing and everybody wants to duplicate it. There is no more variety anymore. They've been systematically destroying variety. I was talking last night about my chair, right? My chair is starting to fall apart. Fortunately, my friend actually had a good working one in the basement. So I acquired a chair from my friend's basement here. But I was saying, you know, I've been looking around to replace the chair that I got that's been falling apart, but I can't find that style anymore because one guy did a rocking chair version and now everybody's doing a rocking chair version. So I have 16 brand names of the exact same thing. It's like, really? Stop. Look at the coffee stuff. Back years ago, I could go into nearly any grocery store and get a dozen or two varieties of coffee flavors. And now we're down to just the boring mocha, hazelnut, and French vanilla. And that is about it. Wegmans is the only large chain I know of where I can go in and get good flavored coffee. Interesting. But everybody's just trying to copy everybody else. That's how the world is working. Everybody is trying to copy everybody else. And Grok is doing the same thing. So now if you're using Grok, it's going to remember you over time. It's going to get to know you. It's going to be your friend. And then pretty soon it's going to use that information against you, because that is what they're trying to do. Next up in AI, Meta is slurping up EU user data for AI training. This is an opt-out if you are in the EU. European, basically they say they were going to start doing this. There's a little bit of a pushback. Ultimately, it's determined that, yes, they can do this, but they have to give people the option to opt out. So if you are in the EU or somewhere in that general vicinity, then you will see a notification on your Facebook dashboard, and you should receive an email as well with a way to opt out. If you have already opted out to this type of stuff, then they will honor that opt out, because they had to go back and go through the courts again a little bit. So if you've already done that once, you're good, but keep an eye out for that banner or that email if you still happen to use Meta products, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. If you do not opt out, they are going to start using all of your private data to train their AI. Because, you know, we got to get rid of everything that's distinctual and personal and private to you. Come on, guys. All right, that is what they are up to. And the final one in AI news, the EU now bans AI agents. So if you remember, we talked about this, I can't remember if it was the news or a Microsoft video, but when you're using Microsoft Teams, now they want to throw an AI agent in there, and the AI agent is sitting there and watching and assigning tasks and probably being a snitch for Microsoft and or the three letters. We just don't know exactly what it's doing in there, but it simply shows up. In fact, I was in a Teams meeting the other day, and the person starting it, unfortunately, I'm not in control of this meeting, I'm just a participant. So they started up, and I jump in there, and there's this extra person there, and the person organizing meetings, so I'm trying to get rid of this person. What is this? Like, oh yes, it's the Microsoft's AI bot. So when you create the Teams meeting, Microsoft's AI bot is sitting there watching and analyzing everything. So we had to kick the thing out of the meeting. So what the EU basically came down and said is, no, we're not going to allow it. Now, I thought, was this government? It appears no. Like, AI agents are not allowed in web meetings. That's what their take is. It's not like on government systems. It's no, not at all. Period. Done. Now, what they state, they say that the fact that the thing's over there and analyzing tasks is not the big deal. They said the big deal is all of these are proprietary blobs that are listening in, and nobody knows exactly what they're doing. And so, let's see, AI agents perform multitask. So Salesforce uses AI agents to call sales leads. Great, that's all I need. AI robots now calling us all is sales leads. Can you imagine that world, guys? Your phone never stops ringing. If you let your phone number slip to one place, it's going to end up on a list, and the AI bots are going to be fighting over which one can get your phone to ring. Ring, ring. Your phone's going to be ringing constantly. It's an AI bot for Salesforce trying to call you. My Lord. And so the issue that they had here is that we just don't know what to do, what they're actually doing. Let's see if I can find the section here. AI note takers and other agents are not inherently a security threat, according to 2025 report from global AI experts. The security risk stems from the user being unaware of what their AI agents are doing, their inability to operate outside the user's control, and the potential AI to AI interactions. That's all we need. We need the mark of the beast AI Satan bot interacting with all of the recall bots to determine exactly who is where, and so they can execute their master plan. Okay, I'm getting tinfoil hatty here, and my apologies. I just finished that giant, like, year-and-a-half study of the book of Ezekiel. I got weird Antichrist stuff on my mind. Anyway, moving on though, tech companies do have to be cautious when promoting products that can accomplish an increasing amount without the user's awareness. One of the biggest cautionary tales is that of Microsoft Recall, an AI tool that allowed users to control their PCs or search through files using natural language. The convenience came at a cost. Recalls captured the screenshots of active Windows every few seconds, saving them to a timeline, raising concerns about privacy and data usage. Of course, there were a ton of security issues with that. And so there were a lot of problems with it. And so because of that, they kind of came out and said, yeah, we just don't really want any of that over on our system. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do use affiliates, and today we are highlighting A2 Hosting, and apparently I need to do cookie stuff over here as well. There you go. So if you need a website and you need some web hosting, consider A2 Hosting, tlm.li/A2H. And you can sign up over here. You can get good discounts for your first, I think you can get up to 36 months on some of these. So you can actually get a really good price for the first few years. Now, we'll go up to a little bit of a higher price, but their service is actually good and worth it. They have good services. They have free SSLs. They actually have support staff that answers the phones, and you can understand them, and that's always a bonus for me. I use them until my business and hosting just got too big for them, but this is still what I point most of my clients to on when they're just wanting their own hosting systems. So A2 Hosting, have a look at them. That will help support the channel and give you a great deal. tlm.li/A2H. And with that, let's head on over to business news next. All right, first though, we're going to go on back over to comments and see what's going on in the comment world. Alrighty, we got 72 watching on Zatubies here. Let's see if I can figure out where I was here. Oh, we got a lot of comments. Let me jump on over to jump on over to Matrix first. See what's going on Matrix. Alrighty, let's see. Location not found. Speaking of Federated, remember the Federated group. Let's see. All right. The Federated group commercials 1984. Oh dear. All right. One which speaks of Florida man, it's redundant. Just call him a moron. Gators and ducks. There you go. FMAAS, Florida Man as a Service. There you go. If you need entertainment, they're a new entertainment company you can do. Florida Man as a Service. FMAAS. There you go. All right. Come with a better business model. You don't want to go bankrupt in a month. There you go. Vulcans for the win. Let's see. Elon Musk for governor, says Laissez-Faire. I think all of those different brands you see are the same company. Probably. Seeing a lot more community involvement here tonight. Awesome. Yes, over on Matrix. That's because I'm remembering to check it on a regular basis now. All right, let's check in over on Ztubies. You don't want to banhammer distro developers. We have our own banhammers. There you go. Checking in and saying hello. Well, hello, Dean. Greetings to you. Power Shield, when I saw Louis Rossman's new video that DJI only gives you 3 free skips using their cameras before you have to download their app, I completely swear off the entire company. Yeah, they're a Chinese spy company anyway, so why would you want them anyway? Can somebody share me the Matrix link? I will join once my Gen 2 finishes compiling GCC. So we'll see you, what, in 2 or 3 weeks? I think let's see, do I have a link? I might have a link for that, tlm.li/matrix. That might work. Someone can confirm that. But if you just go into Matrix, search the public rooms for Switch to Linux. Thanks to Salbu for getting it there. At least you notice the start instead of halfway through. That's right. That's right. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah, I know. I'm just beating myself up for fun. Professional streamer. Yes, professional streamer of the Duct Tape Productions. All right. Let's see. Only time I've had install issues with Solus was cheap data SSDs. Yep. What's better on Friday than the Weekly News Roundup? I don't know, man. Sleeping in, maybe a date. There you go. Yeah, I'm moving it over there so that more people can have Friday night dates. What's better, moving Thursdays? As many streams on Friday nights, had to pick and choose. Almost no one. I'm sub 2 streams on Thursdays. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, still crying about it post-recovery. Let's see. I destroyed all my Apelli stuff. Oh, Apple stuff. Apelli stuff. Yeah, there you go. Typing in the dark is no fun. There you go. Yeah. FLA is simultaneously one of the biggest states and worst states in the country. Like, there's some things that are good about it. I mean, obviously, I like the direction they've taken on some things. I think DeSantis has, by and large, done a tremendous job down there. I would not be upset to see him be a president someday. But there's some stupid stuff they do there, too. I think they've gone way past into the more far right that's not cognizant enough about the digital realities of the world we live in. That's the problem is people on the right, particularly leaders, politicians, guys on the right, do not have as much. A lot of it is because they're so pro-business, they don't recognize the abuses that businesses can do easily. And that's, I think, what the biggest problem is. But would I rather have businesses taking advantage of people or criminals running through the streets, a completely porous border, and people chopping body parts off of children? I'll take the latter. I'll deal with the businesses because I'm a minimalist anyway. I'm not buying your crap. So it's like there's a thought, you know. I'm in California, 77 to 2000 police career. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for trying to keep the streets safe over there. I know you were probably policing California during some of the better times outside maybe those LA riots. I don't know. Let's see. LG would make anything off me. I ignored all ads, and I make about Spock life as one can be. Seeing the TV is an emotion vampire. Yes. I want to suck your psyche. Right. Let's see. Sure, no guns allowed will just be as effective as no drugs on campus and no smoking at school signs. Yep, that's right. Hey, that sign has told you, man. The reason the apps are free is because the phone users are the product. Amen to that. Yep. Okay. Okay, you don't want to be law in America's next president could send you to El Salvador. There you go, yeah. Let's see. Everyone loves a big pickle. Okay. That dog looks like Clifford the dog. Another option is to simply not care if people know. Yeah. Slopsquatting. Yep, there you go. So looking forward to WrestleMania this weekend. Not looking forward to booting up Windows to watch it. Good evening, all. Happy Good Friday to those who celebrate. For once, the ancient Orthodox calendar lines up with the modern Western calendar. I'm able to enjoy all the sales on Easter items. Nice. Yep. Real programs do not use AI. A programmer uses his brain. This is true. But we don't have a lot of real programmers left in the world, unfortunately. Left, right, up, down, BSOD, all the same. There you go. All right, Grok, what a strange word. I tried Blue Sky instead of Twitter/X for a change. I'm glad I did not see Grok in the sidebar. AI needs more data. Slop squatting and a flop sweat. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm going to put a marker right there. Check in over on the other guys. Let's see. For an Odyssey, we got 16 watching over on Odyssey. Not sure what federated stuff works. Never worked. Sure which federated stuff work. Never used the likes of Mastodon. Yep. Matrix fingerprints your OS. That is possible. Probably best to use Matrix on a VM then. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of different options you can do with it. You can always use it in like Firefox or something, just the browser version on Firefox, and it can fight with all that spam from Covenant Eyes. Recently come across the Linux Resistance channel. It's a Croatian guy, talks about everything FOSS and Linux. Really great content. Anyone else watched it? I have not seen it. No. I should have a look over there. We got 26 over on Rumble. Ubuntu just released. Unfortunately, still donning Firefox's web browser. Yeah, pretty much everybody is. Okay. Rewind, scratch record, rewind. That's how every AI works. They improve AI by data. So dumb and naive people, better than Microsoft. What good encryption? What good is encryption if it has backdoors? Come on, man. We got to save the children. Motions on our sleeves. There you go. Sweet Emotion from Aerosmith. Do ads really work, though? I mean, believe it or not, they do. Which is sad, but yeah, they do. Squirrely Joe's online. Well, the problem I have with online orders is I've tried it before. Van down by the river is just not an easy to get to mailing address. So I'm unfortunately stuck with grocery stores for the most part. Coffee brand coffee is wide variety. Yeah, that's from the Quartering. It's coffee brand coffee. Just turned off the Wi-Fi on the LG TV. It'll be good enough, or will it turn itself back on? So you never really know. And one of the things some of the smart TVs are doing is they're starting to embed their own SIM cards. And so they're like, because they're recognizing more people are not connecting to the internet and they still want that sweet data, so they're putting SIM cards in them. Oh dear, you're gonna have to wrap your TV in tin foil or something. I don't know. Back over on the YouTube comments there, like the NWA when they first started back up. Okay, been trying to deactivate my X for a while, but I'm gonna have to restore a recovery image from my vault. Uh-oh. One who lives in the U.S. said, be glad to live in Europe when it comes to privacy laws. Yeah, we definitely need some of the European privacy laws over here. Good coffee needs nothing added. There you go. Yep. Mostly drink K-cup lattes and tons of tea. There you go. AI robots will put the Indian scammers out of business. There you go. Yeah. All the possibilities AI technology can bring, the scum of the earth just has to exploit it with the point everyone hates it. Brilliant. All right. Glitchy grub. There you go. Okay. Let's see. AI bot agent. Mr. Anderson. That's right. Okay, fix fluid synth to newly updated general user sound font. There you go. Congratulate me, Windows free for 3 weeks. Not going back to this channel. Help. Awesome, man. Very good. I am glad you made the switch. Which distro did you choose? Need to get into Matrix. Been lazy about installing it yet. Something else to distract me. What is Matrix? So Matrix is it's like it's an open source, kind of like an open source version of Discord. So effectively like that. Yeah. AI dating service. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to date my AI dating service. I sign up and an AI dates me. Great. Yep. Yeah, we were banned from Discord for wrong thinks. So, you know. They didn't like a PhD in biosciences talking bad about their precious vaccine. Let's see. Mostly it's Discord for communication. Let's see. Well, the idea of using IRC servers and means making social media where each user connects to IRC channels stores chunks of distributed data. There you go. Another brand of coffee you see on YouTube is Fire Department Coffee. There you go. How can you tell if a TV has a SIM card without taking part? I have no idea. It's just I've seen it, so I don't know. You may be thirsty for coffee. Brewing some now. Oh, that sounds good. Unfortunately, I can't stop and brew some coffee right now. But I still have a very hot cup of cinnamon tea, so we're good with coffee for the day. I'll just drink my tea and be happy. All right, we're going to jump on over to busyness news next. After I cough up a little. All right, I think that was just a node. All right, that wasn't a whole long, just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First up in business news, Google suspended 39.2 million malicious advertisers in 2024 thanks to AI. So we finally have a good use of AI. It got rid of several of those malvertising scammers. Unfortunately, it didn't even put a drop in the bucket, but that's at least a step in the right direction. At least if Google's going to force us to turn off our ad blockers to use all of their services, the least they can do is make sure the malware scammers and Trojan distributors are off of their network, but they still haven't succeeded at that. They just kind of helped. Not only they can get Facebook in on this to get the Facebook guys to use AI to ban all of the Facebook fake support scammers trying to tell everybody, you need to connect with us because we saw a violation. We're going to take down. Literally, they're copying and pasting the same thing over on Facebook inside their messages, and Facebook can't figure this out. I don't know. Anyway, Google may have finally found an application of large language models that even AI skeptics can get behind. True, I get behind it. Use your AI to get them off. The unfortunate thing is they're going to kick off a whole lot of they're going to have a whole lot of false positives. Like I talked about, I'm still not going to unveil the exact name of the company I'm using, but I switched away from PayPal for my business invoicing. I just got completely sick of it. Middle of January, things were already falling apart, and PayPal's like locking me out of accounts again, and I need to call them on the phone. It's like, okay, I'm done with this. Well, the company I'm working with now, they flagged one transaction. I think they flagged the transaction because the customer changed the phone numbers on their accounts. I think that's probably what flagged it. So we're going to kind of let it go. But they're like, hey, trust and safety team, we need to know more about this transaction. Guys even wanted me to like send in a copy of the contract I have with them. It's like, that's none of your business, you know? No. I said, hey, you can go ahead and call the guy if you want. You know, they're like, what's his name? What's his number? All this kind of stuff. So I did that. But I text the client, who happens to be a friend of mine. I said, when they call you, treat them harshly. I'm not going to be a jerk to them, but man, they're going to annoy my clients who don't like this type of nonsense as it is. Oh, and that friend got a mouth if he wants it. It's awesome. I feel like I kind of sent a little chicken into a wolf's den. I don't know. But anyway, hopefully the trust and safety moron has survived. But that's the problem, is all these guys are all these false positives, and then they literally treat you like you're a scamming criminal. It's like, dude, don't you have better things to do? Questioning my $120 invoice, which is the second invoice the exact same guy did on the exact same time with the exact same card. Really? So I don't know. But anyway, I'm probably going to let that one slide. Let's see what happens with that. But that's the problem with utilizing AI systems, is it pulls in a whole lot of these false positives as well. So while the malvertisers are getting on and just completely running rampant all over your site, you are going to wipe out a whole lot of legitimate accounts in the process. And some of these are small businesses that unfortunately need to plug their nose and give money to Google, and they hate it, but they have to survive. And that's kind of the problem I see with this. They create a giant problem. They can't even deal with the giant problem. And then they deploy AI, which will end up wiping out a lot of other ones. I didn't see anything in the article about any false positives they found, but I'm assuming there's probably a lot. But hey, they did say they took down close to 40 million malvertisers, and they did get a lot of them before they even pushed up one ad, which is good. So if you're unfamiliar with the malvertising, this is where the hacker creates an ad for a legitimate service. So like KeyPass.info is a legitimate service here. So they take out this ad, and the problem with Google Ads is what's displayed right here where it says keypass.info. This does not match what the actual URL is in. You can type whatever you want on this. It's just a display field in Google. And then you can put an entirely different website over here. And so somebody goes in and you hear that KeyPass XC is awesome because you watch Switch to Linux, and then you type in KeyPass. Now, first, KeyPass and KeyPass XC are two separate programs. I would use KeyPass XC. It is a lot more, it's a fork of it that's had a lot more progress. But KeyPass.info is still legit. Someone types in KeyPass, and then the first link over here, oh, KeyPass, there it is. And you click the first link, and it's an ad. But it's hard to tell it's an ad. It just has this big sponsored. Otherwise, it looks the same. You click on this, and it doesn't take you to KeyPass.info. It takes you to a malvertising site that has just infected your computer, simply clicking on this. This is a horrible, like, why does Google allow this to happen? Now, this is where some of them are getting around this by using like Google Pages and things to host pages that almost on the surface look like they're good. And they even have legitimate security protocols, but they're using those as well. So this is what Google's doing, is working on this. But don't have too many of good feelings towards Google, because it was ruled as an illegal advertising monopoly. Now, they were charged on three different things, and they came down and said they're only a monopoly on two of those. So the one that was dismissed was the double click. So the double click, the double click is just that's the kind of the name of the company that they use to distribute all of the ads. That's kind of what they're doing. Now, there's a number of different ad distributor systems, and that'll just, whichever one you do, just kind of determines where your ads are. So it's like that, and there's other options in there. Now, where they were found illegal is that Google has a lot of services that compete with other services. And so the problem is if they had a service, a good example is Rumble. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if the current ongoing Rumble cases was part of this, because what Rumble said is, hey, we are trying to do an online video platform, but if you search for online video platforms, Google always puts YouTube above Rumble. So they're tweaking their search algorithms to always put their own products and services above competing products and services. And for that, the judge says, yeah, that's kind of an illegal monopoly. Now, of course, if you're not using Google, you may or may not get those same results. Of course, if you're using Startpage, you will, because they're using a proxy filtered Google. If you're using Brave or Bing or DuckDuckGo, you might not get them. It just kind of depends on what type of video you get. But Google will always show a YouTube video of a similar title than a Rumble video, if Rumble videos are even showed at all. And that's really what the system boiled down to is, are these advertising that they're doing hurting other services? And the court said yes, if it's a competing service, and Google always puts its own service above. And so what the prospect they might do here is force Google to spin off several of these other industries. So that is kind of what they are doing. And on the last in the business news here is Synology requires self-branded drives for some consumer NAS systems. So you already have a NAS system. Now, in reality, this one's not as inclined to piss off Louis Rossmann, because they're not changing your system that's already in place. But they're not allowing you to create new hard drives. You cannot expand your Synology NAS with new hard drives that are not Synology branded hard drives. Now, does Synology make hard drives? No. They're going to be contracting with one of the big companies and slapping their logo on it, and then probably adding some extra money, and then they're adding some DRM into the firmware. Now, we can hope they're probably not doing the Seagate, which had this sudden failure rates all of a sudden out of absolutely nowhere, and I'm wondering if that's what happened to my NAS drive. Of course, you can't see that, but it's a Seagate drive. Yes, the NAS drive that I had that suddenly, for inexplicably stopped working, is a Seagate. I wonder. And I was going to go with Seagate to avoid the potential issues of Western Digital. Serves me right. I'm using Samsung now. Hopefully that's better. All right. But what they're saying here is Synology's new Plus series. Now, this isn't the basic level simple consumer ones. These are the business and enterprise, or the pro versions. So there are several features inside of here that they are changing the firmware of the Synology, that if you want to use those advanced features, then you must be using special DRM encrypted hard drives. Now, as they say in the article down here, thanks Tom's Hardware, so saying in the article down here, few companies make hard drives. Synology is not one of them. So what they're doing is they're going to be using one of these distributors, Seagate, Toshiba, Western Digital. They're probably going to pick at least one of those, slap on DRM and a Synology sticker, and probably jack up the price a whole lot. Is this a money grab? Is this a DRM grab? Is this a control? Is this, we're going to put black box firmware on your device that you don't really know what it's doing because the NSA would like to know what's on your drive? We don't really know. It's a black box. This is why I'd recommend using the Open Media Vault, and there's a few other good open source options out there as well. So that is kind of what I have in mind there. So that is yikes, DRM and our HDDs. Isn't that wonderful? With that, guys, let's go on over to your favorite place and mine. Let's go to SillyVille. And first up, we had to cover this particular one here simply because it involves a penguin. An unsecured penguin crashes a South African helicopter. What? That's right, folks. South African R-44 crashed during liftoff after an unsecured penguin fell on the controls. What? That's right. So this is a research team, and the research team is down here doing something. Was it the Easter Islands? Eastern Cape. There you go. So the chopper flowed to Bird Island off the Eastern Cape in order for a specialist to carry out an aerial survey. After the survey was completed, they landed on the island, and the specialist requested the transport of a penguin back to Port Elizabeth's airport because the penguin looked a little sick. So they put the penguin in this box. Great, awesome. Now we have a penguin in a box and a helicopter. The problem is they didn't properly secure the box, and the penguin got out and caused ruckus all throughout the helicopter, and apparently jumped over, landed on the cyclic pitch controller, and the helicopter landed on its side and crashed and burned. Everybody survived. The penguin even survived. Isn't that wonderful? But now we have a whole crew marooned on a forbidden island, I guess, with a crazy penguin that likes crashing helicopters. So cue the penguins of Madagascar. There you go, folks. Just a friendly note. If you happen to be transporting penguins in your helicopter, please secure them tightly so that they do not crash your ride. Microsoft, God, they go brain dead. A few months ago, we covered Bill Gates lost his ever-loving mind. He wanted to chop down a bunch of forests and then bury the wood in the desert to capture the carbon. Like, not chop down the forest, sell the lumber to boost the housing market, reduce the price of wood. No. Chop down perfectly good forest, which I'm not sure if Bill Gates is aware of this, but trees take carbon dioxide out of the air. He was going to chop down all of these trees with all that diesel equipment, by the way, and bury the trees in the Arizona deserts to trap the carbon so the carbon could never make it to the atmosphere. This is a sign of a sick man. He should be removed from all public life, probably stripped of his assets, and put in an insane asylum. But Microsoft says, hold a beer, yo, watch this. Microsoft now signs a new major carbon removal deal to try and help minimize the environmental impact even further. They want to be carbon negative by 2030. So they will purchase 3.685 million tons of carbon removal credits over 12 years. What are they going to be doing? They're going to be capturing pulp and paper milling stations and then permanently storing it in saline aquifers. Call me crazy. I think God put the saline aquifers there for some purpose. Let's not just throw a whole bunch of paper and chemical waste down there in order to, quote unquote, trap the carbon. Why don't you, Bill, plant a few trees, and then the trees will grow up and suck carbon out of the atmosphere. If only the creator of the world created something that would scrub CO2 out of the air. I got a grand idea. Let's take a bunch of this stuff. Instead of using it for something useful, we're just going to bury it in salt pits somewhere. Awesome, man. We're going to save the planet. Now, the salt pits will never be the same. All of the ecological impact caused, we don't know. We don't really care. I mean, they may as well chop down a bunch of Amazonian rainforest in order to build a freeway to get to a climate summit. Oh, they did that too. These people are nuts. There. Have I demonstrated myself now an equal opportunity offender? Now I can say I'm a right-wing hack, I'm a left-wing hack, and I'm a climate denier. Hey, I even caused disparity on the vaccination stuff, too. I think I did that in the comments, though. I can't remember. But anyway. A major Google cloud outage was caused by uninterruptible power supplies being interrupted. Yep. It happened, folks. We have an uninterrupted power supply that gets interrupted. The end is nigh. So this was in Columbus, Ohio region data center for Google. So anything that required Google services running in and out of there, this was down for 6 hours and 10 minutes on March 29th. They blamed the loss of a utility power in the affected zone. And the problem is that there was a battery misconfiguration in the UPS system. So the uninterruptible power supply system responsible for maintaining the power in these zones during such events, that was messed up. And so the uninterruptible power got interrupted and the data center went down like the carbon levels with Microsoft, I guess. I don't know. So that's, yeah, interesting, folks. Now, of course, we have to talk about the Taxman Cometh. The IRS scheduled maintenance of their payment system on tax day. Said the payment was still due regardless. All right. Planned outage, April 15th, 2025. Now, to be the fairest to the IRS, this starts at 11:45 p.m. on EST. Now, I get people like waiting until the last possible minute. If you're waiting until 11:45 p.m. on April 15th to pay your taxes, buy a planner, folks. Plan ahead a little bit. Now, I am going to throw a few other things out here as a business owner who unfortunately has to do like those quarterly things. And I think if we want the best way to clean up the IRS and the tax code in the country, we need to simply abolish W-2 withholdings. If every single worker had to get their full check and then once a quarter write a check to the IRS out of that money that they get, they would be infinitely more concerned about what that money is being spent on. Maybe they would seriously object to the government spending $10,000 or was it $100,000, $100 million? It was a lot of money to figure out if Thanos can snap his fingers in metal gloves. Yes, they use our tax dollars to determine if Thanos could actually snap his gloves with his fingers with metal gloves on. Our tax dollars went to that. On top of, feeding up a bunch of cocaine to rats and a bunch of other nonsense type of stuff. So that's kind of why we're all concerned and why many of us really actually kind of like what Doja's doing, trying to figure out the government waste. There we go. I just pissed off the last group of people I haven't pissed off yet. Awesome. Good. All right. So seriously, on tax day, many things, they come down. There you go. Now, I will note this. You do not have to pay your taxes by April 15th. You have to file your taxes by April 15th. This is the payment system, not the tax filing system. You do not incur any fees or late fees on a late payment until they process the taxes. And even that, it's after a period of time. So what I used to do when I was making a little bit less money, and sometimes it's like, pay taxes, let's eat. What I would do is I would file the taxes on April 15th, and then I would wait for them to reply back to say, hey, there's an underpayment. Because as long as you pay within 30 days of that notice, there is no late penalty. And so in light of that, I would buy myself a few extra months of paying the taxes that were due, even though I filed on time. So as long as you're filing on time, you're good. You can work out the payments later. Now, it's always better, of course, to pay in advance or on the day, obviously, but this is not as big of a deal as it says it is, but it is still hilarious that the government would do scheduled maintenance on tax day. That is still funny. But just indicating that this isn't as big of a deal as some people think. But that being said, okay. So if you run into that issue, just log in the following morning and pay your taxes in the morning. You're fine. You'll be fine. All right. And you should not have any extra penalty for that. All right. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a locals page, switchedtolinux.locals.com. You can jump on over there, help support with any amount. You can also do single time support as well over there. And that is a great place to help support the channel. With that, guys, thank you for watching and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Alrighty, let's check back in on the news. And on the comments, excuse me. Let's check back in on the comments there. All right, we got 59 still watching on Ztubies. Stuck with dumb TVs until my last one screen flashed, and then it was completely dead, and I could only get smart TVs as the size and price I was looking at. Soon we can't get a computer monitor without the smart spyware. That's right. Security option to consider. My work computer for security reasons is a desktop, so I know what's in it. No camera, no microphone. Yep, there you go. Ad block on YouTube all the time, no problem. There you go. Linux Mint on desktop, MX Linux on laptop. Yep, week 2 core. Awesome. Good choices. Made specified .mid files in the first part. Yeah. YouTube Premium, as I watch a lot on my TV phone. It's nice not having any ads. Full access to YouTube Music. There you go. Currently using sound fonts for my future distro. Offline streaming, radio, TTS, and radio host. Can fit 100,000 MIDI songs on a small space. There you go. Okay. There isn't any good payment processor left outside of Stripe. Yeah, I've not had issues with Stripe, although I've known other people who have. And I'm not going to like completely get mad at my new processor. Overall, I'm very happy with them. Like I said, I think the issue is that he had paid last month, and when he paid this month, a phone number was changed in that middle of that month, and I think that might have flagged something. Country is listening to proposals for a data center, going to fight it, but have a feeling the money will win. Yep, most likely. Paycheck called me about buying out Stacks. I've never heard of them. The guy came off like a sleazy Wall Street guy. Didn't want anything to do with them, but I have no choice. Paycheck and Stacks. Do I know them? They seem familiar to me, but I can't remember why. And that might be a good thing, bad thing. On a Paychecks, I imagine, will be atrocious. I need to drop back to my safety net in May. Noribots often forget that YouTube is not an application, it's a web page. Yep. And here, give the new Ubuntu a spin yet. Yes, tomorrow, 11 a.m., you can watch my video on Ubuntu 2504. Fedora 42 out. Remember when they made it easy to spot ads via making backgrounds a light green? Yep. No, they don't want to do that anymore. Done with Seagate 2. At least they're spinning drives. Yep. Got to crack the firmware, then get a DMCA for using my own hard drive. There you go. Yep. Running 5-year-old Western Digital M2. Probably ran a few hundred distros over the years. Yep. Going all SSDs by the end of the year. I think I have SSDs on all main systems now. I'm just using spinning Rust for backups now. Unsecured Penguin must be the Linux ones that went woke. Yeah, it was Gen 2. We'll just name it Gen 2. It went wild. Yeah, that they don't know that penguins are flightless birds. The penguin's like, you're flying me out of here? No, we're not. We're going back on the ground, boy. Become carbon neutral, open source, Windows, Office, and donate their billions to charity, or give everyone their own copy of software refund. There you go, yeah. Barely programmed, just super rich, hypercritical, liberal business con man, and a psychopath with a god complex, yes. Rats on cocaine, what's up with that? Yeah, that was a study a couple years ago. They put a bunch of rats on cocaine to figure out what would happen. I think it was pretty obvious. Give it weed, they just want brownies. I guess I invoice ASAP. Might change back to in-house processing, which I preferred. Call the CEO come Monday. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Okay, let me check in over here. Looks like our keyboard. Our keyboard looks like came out. We waited too long to log in, I think. Keyboard. No, it's keyboard's still there, is it? Oh, yeah, okay, our keyboard's back. It just took a minute to wake back up. All right, checking in over on Matrix now. Oops, a bit of inception. SIM card in a smart TV. Can I rip the SIM card out and use it elsewhere? That would be funny. Pull the SIM card out, throw it in a phone, get free data. The TV's like, what the hell's going on? LG's over there going, dude, this TV gets moved around a lot. Google putting their own stuff by competitors? Of course they'll do that. Yeah, I know, right? Why waste money putting Gates in an insane asylum? Just send him to Mars. Hey, you want to explore stuff, right? There you go. Send him to Mars. 51 still watching on Zatubies. How many we got up there? We got 14 currently watching on Odyssey. What did Seagate and Western Digital do? I've just had drives suddenly die. I think I had was it a Western Digital? Yeah, it's a Western Digital drive I had just suddenly died as well once. Although that one was kind of rattling around in the van a little bit more. Observation was the overall operation quality was iffy in a few models. Yep. 37, watching on Rumble. DoorDash app tracks your location even if it's force stopped. Of course it does. You've seen the Easy Pass group text scam? Yes. Got those a couple times on my business line. Glad I used TrueNAS. There you go. Madagascar penguins are real. Yes, they are. Penguins are required to have Velcro on their feet. I'm going to simply delete that message. We are family friendly here. Malika Tom, we are friendly. You have displeased the orange man. Repent. Never. Still on the U.S. tab. When does he get his cut? Yeah. Okay. Just in case you're unaware, Malika, I think I don't know. Never mind. I'm not going to engage. I will choose not to feed the troll right now. All right. Let's see. Surprised me. Ubuntu has been having all kinds of issues. Yeah, there is an issue on 2504 with 3 versions. I think it's Xubuntu and Ubuntu Unity, and I forget the third one, that does not let you install on a manual partition. They're aware of that bug, so be aware of that. But other than that, it's pretty slick. It's just more behind the scenes. Maybe the Antichrist will say that Christians were sent to Mars prison because they were annoying instead of the rapture. Yeah, there you go. Gamers are always going to dogpile on Ubuntu Debian base. Yeah, probably. That's all good. All right, let's go ahead and check in with the kitty cats and feed the beasts. Would you like to be fed? Beastie beast. Want to be fed? Beastie beast. Hey, kitty. You want some kitty food? You want some kitty food? You want some kitty food? Do you want some kitty food? You want some kitty food? Oh, it's kitty food, buddy. It's kitty food. It's kitty food. It's kitty food. Yes, it is. It's kitty food. Boom. Come on, buddy. Come on, kitty. Come on. Yeah. All right. I think we're in good places right here, kitties. Yeah, we're in good places. Patience, grasshopper. Let me get the bag open. Yeah. Yeah, that's good, buddy. Yeah, that was good. Are they good? Yeah, are they good? We got tasty treats over there. Yeah. All right. Cat. Anyway, I should quit harping on it. No one cares. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Let's see. Where do I get a shirt, Tom? Shop.switchedtolinux.com. I don't have these ones. And I do want to get some with just the logo on them. I don't have those in a good format. But shop.switchedtolinux.com. We can get this hat is over there. My coffee cup is over there. Hold on. I actually have to show you what the hat is. There you go. This hat's over there. This coffee cup's over there. And lots of other stuff. So you can get that over there. Cats were abducted. Uh-oh. No problem. Tone it down. Yep. We do keep family friendly, though. Appreciate that. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We will catch you guys next week on the Weekly News Roundup. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., we look at Ubuntu 2504, and then we'll see what happens into next week. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you guys later.